Hi everybody, it's reading time with RPG Grandma again, and it should be Wednesday today, so I hope everyone's having a wonderful Wednesday. And we are still on page 9, but we are down to this last bit here. So let's have a look. Censor of Answering, again by Mary Easel. So this must be the censor right here. All right. And that is going to wholesale for $10,000 and retail for $15,000. Common, a gold censer, like an incense burner, with an inlaid pattern of fine ruby lines. When a question is written on paper and burned in the censer, there is a 25% chance that the ruby lines will glow with the heat, then reform to present the answer. We use 1d8 words in the answer. 1 through 10, it will be clear and helpful. 11 through 25, cryptic or a riddle, but always true. The censor answers questions of past or present facts only, no predictions or advice. In long plot-type campaigns, this is a good way for the DM to keep up with what the players are thinking. We require each question really be written on paper and given to the DM to keep. So it's showing how Mary uses it in her games. Dion's Armor Polish, also by Mary. And that one wholesales for $50, resales for $500. Uncommon clear gel. For 4 rounds after thin polish is applied to any smooth surface, it has a chance to reflect the gaze of any basilisk, etc., back to its source. Also reflects lesser rays back to their sender. For each tablespoon of polish applied, there is a 20% chance, or Dungeon Master's option, of chance of success. Applying each tablespoonful requires 4 rounds of polishing by hand with a soft cloth or chamois. Dungeon Master option. The polish will not work if the user explains his actions before the reflection occurs. Unhappy Wight, born to disastrous end. Spencer, Mother Hubbard's Tale. So that is the end of page 9. So we're going to go back to page 4, and we're going to look at another one of the definitions and commentaries for this book. And we have Delian law. The laws of the Delian Apollo, which underlies those kindred arts of literature, magic, fantasy role-playing games, and poetry. This system of law is known to all, sometimes under the names poetic justice, karma, the golden rule. It is the pattern of events which makes good stories. In Greyhawk, it is involved in the judging of wishes. It permeates all of Ardun, down to the very names of the spells. In Delos, the Delian Commonwealth, it is most commonly invoked in the judging of impromptu spells. See Dragon Tree Spellbook, page 11. We also have that to explore. And it is in setting the effects of crocked items or judging players' oddball solutions. In other words, Cat Boots, page 11. Jewel of Living Shadows, page 26. See Staff of Delian Law, page 8. For a fuller testament of this and other important matters, see Silverlock by John Myers Myers. So I wonder if Silver Lock is a book. This is like in bold words. So I'll have to go find out next episode. Then we have TANS TOEFL. Remember I said there was this weird word, TANS TOEFL? It's an acronym. It's TANSTAAFL. So everybody say together, it's TANS TOEFL, because that's the best way I can figure out how to say it. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch. That's what it means. And this is pretty true of old D&D type games. One of the basic principles both of magic and of Delian law in techno worlds, it is known as the first law of thermodynamics. GIGO, or that portion of Mosaic law called lex talionis, tit for tat, as distinguished from lex talionis or claw law. In magic, it means that nothing may be totally free and routine. Any useful effect must be paid for somehow, whether by money, time, work, or cleverness. It applies same to matter, energy, and information. It means that no item nor action may safely be used unthinkingly, routinely, or mechanically. Checking for secret doors was free and violated TANS TOEFL quite constantly. So Lex Cinco invoked TANS TOEFL itself to help enchant his plaster. Father Samuel, page 23. So, what they're saying is there's got to be some kind of effort. There's got to be some change. There's got to be some kind of mechanical balance in the activities of the players. Otherwise, they're not challenged at all. It's too easy. When we do see that effect as one come up in complaints about 5e, some things are too easy. There seems to be a lack of balance. I mean, if everybody just runs into the room and rolls a dice, and that gets them their answer, and there's no threat, they can't die, and when they should have died, there has to be a balance. Now, in Arduin and probably Delios, based on what I'm reading, because Delios is basically started out using Arduin's rules, the magic has mana points. So, like, if you watch the psionic stuff, and we talk about points, and you have to burn those points, you do that also in Arduin, whereas D&D doesn't. And so, but you lose your spells in D&D. Like you memorize it, but once you use it, it's done. It's exhausted for the day until the next day when you can memorize it all over again. That's the cost, in at least old school D&D. In Arduin, the cost for doing psionics and magic is you burn points. I do believe you get to keep using your spells. So until you exhaust your points. So, there's costs. You can only fight so long before you start having endurance issues, for example. I believe there's something about that as well in Arduin. But I've seen rules for that also in D&D. Like, after a certain point, as a DM, you should be going like, they're not hitting, it's harder for them to hit because you're getting exhausted. you're affecting your endurance. However, whichever stat you decide is the endurance stat in your game, it's now becoming a negative thing. It's something that you have to keep in mind, and you have to keep the players challenged. And it's okay to adjust things. So that's what they're talking about there. We have a whole nother half a page at page 4. Because we're doing artifacts this week, and we finished page 9, I'm thinking we should just, let's see, continue on to page 10 for the next 2 days, and then we'll go back to traps for the next week, and we'll do some traps, and then we'll come back and finish page 10 the week after that. Unless you guys want to do something else, just, you got to let me know, though. Okay? So keep rolling those dice. Keep rocking your role playing. Keep your energy levels high if you're DMing. If you're a player and you're watching this stuff, don't be afraid to step out of your box and ask to become a DM. And you will become a better player if you become a DM. You will. But don't be afraid to get more into the role-playing aspect. Asking questions, trying to make it more real, challenging your character. Don't be afraid to die. You can die gloriously, where everybody remembers that death awesomely. And then that gives you a chance to make a new character that's totally different from the previous one. And then you get to, don't be afraid to try classes or races, or I guess now we want to say species, whatever. But something new, something different that is allowed in your campaign setting. And have fun. Have a good Wednesday, everybody. Peace. Oh, and like, subscribe, tell your friends, comment, all that good stuff. Bye.